YouTubers? This is Corbyn Dallas and Jason. Today we're going to be going over technique. Again, we're representing submission arts from Barrie. Enjoy. So I'll get Jay Flounders back in a mount position. So when I take this mount position, I have two main positions for mount. So I'm either into a high mount, where I'm up high under his armpits, or I'm into a low mount, where I have grapevine, or I have my feet praying or crossed, and I'm in this low position, okay? From here, we're gonna adapt something called the skydive position. So as I dig my heels into his hamstrings, I'm curling my legs in. I have my arms out nice and wide for support. So if I get Jay to move around and bump here, I'm connected to him and I'm wide with my arms, okay? The next thing I do is I'm driving my pelvis into him. Now I'm gonna posture up. I'm gonna put two hands on one, and again, nice leverage up against his wrist here. Again, I'm gonna have more strength up here. If my arms are down here, I have much less strength. Up on his wrist. Now I wait. So Jay's much stronger than me, so I'm just gonna keep my elbows locked out like I'm in the top of a push-up and get my hands to the ground. From there, bend my elbow at 90 degrees. I'm gonna reach under his elbow and grab my own wrist. Jay has some tight wrists here, but the very first thing I wanna do is throttle both my wrists like I'm doing a motorcycle throttle. Both my wrists like this. And I want to keep his wrist on the ground. I see a lot of issues here where the wrist is on the ground and they go to elevate the elbow, which is incorrect. So what I want to do is slide his wrist down like it's a paintbrush and bring his elbow to his hip and slowly wait for the tap. I'm getting the tap there. I'm going to show one more time. If you want to get a different angle, please adjust yourself. So I'm in this mount position here where I'm in the skydive position on a low mount. So I'm digging my hips and doing there. Arms out nice and wide until he calms down and stops bumping. Okay, from here I'm gonna posture up, put two hands on one wrist. Okay, I'm not here with my elbows bent where I'm trying to bench press him off. I'm trying to use leverage in my body weight. This might take some time if your opponent's strong, which he is. I'm gonna bring my elbow down. From there, I take this hand, reach underneath the elbow, throttle both my wrists, and I'm gonna slide this wrist down like a paintbrush. And I'm getting the tap there. Any questions? 1, 2. Jay is smart, his hands are in tight, so I'll show you another option when the guy tries pushing you away, okay? This could happen with less experienced grapplers. You never want to extend your limbs too much. So all I do is whatever side I want to do, I'm doing CPR on his chest, through one, through the other, okay? Doesn't matter which side. Then look, I'm gonna pop up, fall back. I like to grab both arms and finish my arm lock. Heels tight, knees tight, then bridge your hips up with this thumb facing up. And Jay's gonna bench press and push me away, okay? So what I do is, one under his arm, one over his arm, okay? I pop up to my feet, step over his head, and fall back. One arm through, okay? Let's sit up and fall back. Okay, quick arm lock detail. When I have Jay here, I like to pull both arms towards me so that he has no chance of doing that hitchhiker escape. Okay, so I have both arms. My heels are tight, my knees are tight, and I'm controlling his thumb so it's facing up. From there, I'm gonna bridge the hips up. Important detail is when Jay has his arms straight here, I'm not using my arms to fight Jay's arm here. So keep your arms straight, Jay. I'm not fighting this fight. What I'm doing is I'm sitting up and I'm leaning my body back, just using leverage. Mounted position, he pushes me up. Here. Arms go through, then across. Okay, so I'm gonna show the third option here. It's an S mount. It's a little bit more advanced, but I like this position because anytime I fall to my back in an armbar position, it's a race whether I can get my leg over Jay's head or if he can come up into my guard. Okay, we'll give an example of it. Everything remains the same. My feet are praying here, I'm upright, and Jay's pushing me away. So in this position, as I come up and start to go over, when I fall to my back, it's a race on whether I can get this leg over Jay's head or he can come up. Okay, so as I go to fall back, Jay's gonna come up and we'll see who wins on this race, okay? Okay, so now I'm in a position I shouldn't have been in the first place. So I get you to go back here. Here's a new position that I like to use, which avoids that race, okay? Same position, Jay's pushing up and away. Okay, I'm gonna come up. One arm goes under, one arm goes over. The one that goes over, that's the knee that slides up past Jay's head. So look, I push up past his head. Now, my right leg here, I keep my heel tight and go to S-mount position where you can see the bottom of my foot. And I go back on my toes here, so I have good base. Trying to connect my heel and my knee, I have good posture here. If Jay bumps or moves around, I have good control here. Okay? Now I hook the arm that I'm attacking, Jay's right arm here. You can push his face if you lack mobility here. You can hold the tricep. I'm just gonna get my shin over his head and fall to my stomach. Over, under, doesn't matter which side. If I'm over, that's the knee that slides up past Jay's head. Good. In this S-mount position, you can see the bottom of my foot on my back toes. Now for my arm bar position, I'm gonna get my shin over his head. Okay, so our next one from mount is gonna be the fourth option. I'm gonna quickly review what we went over just for the students here at the Academy and for everyone on YouTube online. So look, I have this mount position where my feet are together and they're praying in that pose, okay? I have a low mount position. First one, I posture up. I'm just getting this basic Americana. Here, leave my elbows straight till it gets to the ground. Drive my left elbow down, bent at 90 degrees. Now, I reach underneath, grab my own wrist. I'm gonna give a quick throttle here before I slide Jay's wrist down. And I'm sliding his wrist all the way back. Again, I'm not lifting it up. Jay, bump. Where I get into a situation like this. Okay, back. Good, number two, I'm in this mount position, and Jay pushes up on me. He's bench pressing. One arm under, one arm over. Get to your feet, step over, I grab both arms, arm lock. Okay, the next one is more advanced. It's the S-mount. Again, my feet are praying here. Jay's pushing up. One under, one over. The one that's over, I slide my knee past his head. Good. Next up, I pull on his tricep as I take my S-mount. Very important here that my back toes are active on the mat here. Good. Next up, I take my elbow to his wrist. I'm gonna drive my ear towards his knee and post out for balance here as I put my shin over his face. Okay? You don't always need that shin, but it's a little bit better here. I'm looking to go to my stomach in a Russian arm bar. Okay, the last option we're gonna do today before we do the free rolls, Dan, is if his elbows are in tight and I still want the S-mount. Okay, so I got this technique in New York from Matt Serra. What's gonna happen is here, I go over and under. When I hook under his elbow, I start to inchworm, crawl my hand forward. Now I'm gonna reinforce that with my hand on top and take the S-mount. So I drive up like this. Okay, I'll show again on the other side. You can stay there, Jim. So here, I'm gonna reach under and start to pry his arm open. Once I'm up past his head, I'm gonna CPR. Okay, now the same technique happens. I slide my knee past his head. Good, grab the other tricep and take my S-mount. Good, I'll show that again. My back will be to the camera, but at least I'm in a different angle. I'm praying here, Jay's keeping his elbows in tight, but I want that S-mount. Even if he keeps his elbow in tight here, I start to pry him open using leverage here. Again, exaggerate this part. My knee comes past his head. Past his head. You want to come around for a second? Raise your hand a bit, Jay. Your other hand. And I'm going to take my S-mount here. Again, I'm on my back toes. Elbow here. Post out for balance. Drive the hips forward, the arm lock. Good. I'm going to show one more option here. So I'm in the exact same position here. Jay has his elbows in tight. I start to scoop under his elbow, pry it open. There'll be a bit of a fight here, but the leverage will work. Hand over hand, give the ground CPR like I'm doing a tricep push-up on the ground. Slide your knee past his head. If Jay scoops under my leg, then I come up to my triangle. And I have a mounted triangle. Arm lock, wrist lock. Are you okay? That'll be good for the video. Let me show one more. I'll go a little bit looser. Yeah. Again, without going so hard on the Pookie here. Elbow in tight. I'm gonna pry him open. Hand over hand. Now I do a push-up on the ground. Slide my knee up way past his head I want to see this exaggerated. If Jay hooks underneath my leg, no problem. I'll grab my own shin, lean forward to lock up my triangle. Okay, from here you have a top position. MMA, you can do your striking, armbar, I have wrist lock, Americana. And if I'm ready and I want to roll and Jay comes up, I'm rolling on my left shoulder and I'm looking to underhook, create my angle. Get the tap. Thank you.